The moment you are born, your parents have already decided what to name you. They probably spent a good amount of time finding a good name to attach to you, pretty much for the rest of your life. It might even be an empowering name with a deep meaning. So far, so good. But the moment the Matrix and its agents step in, the same name your parents choose with great love to refer to you becomes a dead label that turns you into a fictional entity, which gives the system the power to own you like lifeless property.
Do you ever look around you and just look at the world and feel kind of like we're in the Matrix, like there's something missing?
People who've been in charge of the world for quite a long time.
And people at the bottom just don't seem to get it. They don't seem to wake up. And they don't seem to wake up because the people in charge try very hard to keep them asleep.
To the Matrix, you are as good as a machine or a slave. You become an investment. By the end of this video, you'll actually discover that we play a lunatic language game with the powers that be, where they think they have legal ownership of our bodies and souls, at least according to their fiction.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
So, what are these language games and fictions? Your name is a very powerful phrase, but when you go down to the deepest level, it's just a set of sound frequencies and a special way of drawing lines used to identify you. Yet, in a legal setting, a combination of words accompanying your name might change your entire life. Language use is often taken for granted because sometimes we say things we don't mean, but when it comes to the systems of control, everything means something, and specifically that thing. The roots of writing systems, legal systems, and other fictional powerful entities across the ages, up to the modern Matrix, are essentially linguistic systems, i.e. word plays. We live in a simulation. It's a linguistic game. You can call it the Language Warcraft Matrix or some other wacky name, and our best option is to understand the rules of the game and its many layers. Let's start with the basics. Names. Though it's an allegorical story about the unfolding New World Order that was engineered in America via the Great Depression, The Wizard of Oz tells us a lot about how names are used by the Matrix. The symbolism behind the Tin Man, the strawman, and the lion plays a crucial role in highlighting this. The strawman represents your name written in capital letters, a shallow construct that is supposed to stand for the real thing. In the story, he seeks a brain, which symbolizes that he lacks consciousness, education, and knowledge. The straw man is the person who mistakes himself for the capital letters used to refer to them. The Tin Man represents your name written associated with the money you generate. That's how the Matrix claims ownership over you as a machine that moves the economy. Actually, your tax ID is referred to as TIN, which is probably not a coincidence, knowing how Disney is involved with mind programming. The Tin Man is a product of the system, created to work tirelessly without rest or complaint. In the story, he seeks a heart, which symbolizes the desire of the taxpayer to be seen as a human, not just a state machine. The lion represents the lack of courage to address this abuse of sovereignty. Lions are very proud creatures because of their courage, so it's absurd to see a lion that's cowardly and timid. In the story, he seeks courage, which symbolizes the need for us to claim ownership over what is ours. Our parents gave us willingly as slaves to the Matrix as soon as we were born, because they are also under the ownership of this deceptive system. That's why it is important to differentiate between our full name and our legal name. While our full name includes both our given and family names, our legal name is the name that appears on our birth certificate, passport, and other official documents. This is usually written in capital letters, similar to how a corporation is written, unlike your full name, which can be written any way you want. You can even create other names for yourself and completely avoid using the legal name they assigned for you, which is what many artists do, but more about this later. Governments and corporations use our legal name to identify us and keep track of our activities, such as tax payments, voting records, and employment history. So basically, you are only real when their papers say so. Many people face problems in the gameplay merely because of their legal names being misspelled. This is why bureaucracy is inherently inhumane. Your presence as a breathing flesh and blood entity doesn't make you real if you don't have a card or paper to prove it. The drone-like people who work with these systems virtually cannot recognize you're alive unless they have a paper to prove it. It's as though they occupy a different dimension, where nothing exists unless there's a document to prove its existence. It's really absurd when you get down to it, but this is just the surface level. To gain a better understanding, we need to study the occult definitions of names. While our names may seem like a simple aspect of our identity, they hold deeper meanings that go beyond just identification. In occult and esoteric circles, names hold immense power and significance. The word name itself has multiple definitions, including legal and lawful definitions, as well as spiritual and mystical connotations. The word name comes from the Old English word nama, which means name, reputation, or renown. In occult and spiritual practices, names hold immense power and are believed to influence an individual's destiny and life path, especially in association with numerology and Kabbalah. Many spiritual systems believe that knowing someone's true name can give them control over that person's actions and fate. This is similar to the legal system and bureaucracy. As long as they know your legal name, they have power over you. Similarly, in many cultures, the act of naming a child is considered a sacred and significant event, as the name is believed to hold power and influence over the child's life. This is why many names are used over and over to try to invoke certain qualities associated with such names. For example, a king will name the heir apparent after himself in order to pass some of his identity onto his offspring. Understanding the definitions of names is essential to navigating the legal and bureaucratic systems of the Matrix. So, what about legal names? It's important to understand the distinction between your full name and your legal name. Your full name is a genuine representation of the real you that your family and loved ones use to refer to you, while your legal name is a name attached to a legal fiction, an imaginary dead person. The government uses your legal name to identify you and make it easier for you to do business with corporations. So it's wise to use your legal name carefully, as it can be used by the system to control you in some tricky ways. To have a deeper understanding of what a name is, it's important to study various definitions of the word. The Dictionary of Law defines it as a designation by which a person is known, while Black's Law Dictionary defines it as a distinctive characterization in words by which one is known and distinguished from others. Your legal name is composed of your first name, middle name or names, and your last name or surname, without the use of initials or nicknames. In law, the legal fiction associated with your legal name is a corporation, or a corp, which is legally defined as an artificial person or a lifeless entity. This is why your legal name is often written in all capital letters, just like the name on a gravestone. For the control system, the legal name is just a label attached to your body to distinguish you from other bodies that they technically own because your parents signed up for creating your birth certificate after you were born. This rabbit hole goes very deep actually, because the Roman Catholic Church, the RCC, claims it has ownership over you by owning all birth certificates. According to the papal bull Unum Sanctum, the RCC claims ownership of all souls in the world, which is supported by the fact that no one has challenged their claim. Your birth certificate serves as the title to your soul, registered in their archives. In 1302, Pope Boniface VIII issued a papal bull called Unum Sanctum, which declared that the Roman pontiff has supreme control over the material world. According to the bull, the body is governed by the soul and the soul is governed by the ruler of the spiritual, which is the Roman pontiff. As a result, all of the souls in the world supposedly belong to the Roman Catholic Church. This claim has never been challenged, and birth certificates serve as titles to the souls owned by the Church. In fact, the Social Security card issued to individuals has their name written in all capital letters, indicating that they are chattel to a corporation. The Roman Catholic Church has a long history of tyranny and oppression, dating back to its inception. The Inquisition was established to quell opposition to the Church's control, resulting in the deaths of millions of people. The global elite families control the Vatican and the corporation, as well as the US military and the London Financial District, which are all independent city-states. That's the amount of freedom these elites have. The Washington, D.C. private corporation Federal Estate is owned and controlled by the London Crown Temple Syndicate. The RCC owns everything by proxy, including the things people believe they own, such as their homes, cars, and shoes. The World Economic Forum was actually wrong by declaring that by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. According to the narrative of the RCC, you never owned anything to begin with. The United States of America Corporation is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Crown. The church, through baptism or confirmation, invests your soul as collateral, which is an item of value pledged to secure a loan. Collateral reduces the risk for lenders, so basically your soul already belongs to the devil, according to their game. While this might sound preposterous to us, we need to remember that the RCC has been at the bedrock of the Western control system for most of its known history. Their linguistic power games and systems of control are embedded in all the other systems, even secular systems. The Roman Catholic Church has always been more interested in political and legal matters more than religious matters. It always justifies deception, cruelty, coercion, and subversion under the guise of religiosity and spirituality. For example, the Gregorian calendar, created by Pope Gregory, was designed to align with pagan holidays and has a connection to the Mayan calendar. And even before stealing history and claiming it to be theirs, the Roman Catholic Church was actually just the product of a weakened Roman Empire who stole Christianity from the real Christians as a strategic, political move to stabilize the situation. This is just to say that playing language games and renaming things in their special way is how these systems of control claim ownership of things. The corrupt matrix has taken away most of our rights, starting from the moment we are born until we pass away. They only recognize the mother as the legal guardian by signing Schedule 1 of the birth certificate in upper and lower case, for instance, John Smith. The child is registered under birth, deaths, and marriages, which is run by the state. If the parents fail to declare that the child is alive within 30 to 60 days, the courts take over as administrator, and the parents have to learn trustee law. The state borrows money against the child, which is repaid by the taxpayers. The child is now considered legally dead, and everything, including driving license, passport, credit card, and bank card, is listed in all capital letters. All finances are managed by the state and can only be accessed through legal aid. So, how do you navigate this rigged game and play more wisely? One answer is to take the clear pill and see reality within fiction. Understanding the occult systems of control and their fictional power games is like taking the clear pill, which represents the awakening to the true nature of reality and the systems of control that govern our lives. The clear pill is a metaphorical reference to the red pill, blue pill dichotomy from the movie The Matrix. The red pill represents awakening to a harsh reality and sacrificing yourself to fight an illusion, while the blue pill represents staying within the comforts of that illusion as it sucks your energy. However, there are many pills, not just the red and blue ones, and since we're certainly against overdosing from the black pill because we appreciate having cheerful lives with our loved ones, we have an alternative. It's the clear pill. The clear pill represents a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and face the harsh realities of the world, including the fact that there's a lot of illusion within reality. The reality of the game we have to play is that it's halfway in between reality and illusion, so it's an illusionary reality. The use of legal names as a tool of control is just one example of the many ways in which our lives are governed by hidden, illusory power structures. By recognizing these systems and understanding how they work, we take the clear pill, which gives us a certain level of power over the gameplay. The truth shall set you free. This is the premise upon which we're building our identity, not legal and systematic fictions that claim to be the truth merely because they're written in capital letters or registered by some dark priest. Basically, it's also a call for you to unleash your innate creative intelligence and use your imagination to supplement your identity beyond what the systems of this corrupt game assign to you. By owning your identity and creating your persona, you can transcend the confines of the system. This is something very common among thinkers, writers, and artists, especially those who prefer to keep anonymity. You can also change your legal name by playing some court games, but that's not for everyone. As long as you're aware of their game and how it's played, you can choose when to refuse playing it. And when you play their games, you only do so when you have a good chance at winning. Reach out if you care to chat with our nameless brotherhood. If you appreciated this video, please consider supporting the channel.